IMD, Darren Walker. Did you make the call this morning?
Iconic morning, Katie. And can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can see you and I can hear you. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Welcome, welcome on. Thank you.
Well, it's an absolute honor and pleasure. And Katie, I just want to shout you out. We haven't personally spoken many times, but leadership like what you're doing, running these calls, leading people, we call it tithing in your business, where you're selflessly doing things. I mean, I'm not on your team, you're not on my team, but I know there's many other people on here, and you do these things partnered with other people. This is what leadership is. You don't get in life what you want. You don't get in life who you are. You get in life what you deserve. And the root word of deserve is serve. So I want to shout you out for your servant leadership. Continue to lead, sis. It's a big, big, big deal. And even if it doesn't seem like it, you will get paid for your fruit and your labor. So thank you and God bless you. Let's get it.
Yes, thank you so much. I truly appreciate that. I know that you have a very special message for a very special leader that's on the call this morning. Can you please share that with us?
Absolutely. Well, everybody knows that the month of October is Pamela Pacheco's birthday, not the day, the month, because if you're looking at Pam's social media, you would notice that Pam has, wanted to make sure everyone knows that it's her birthday. And she should, I give her a hard time. It's like my little sis, but real talk, when we talk about servant leadership, and Pamela Pacheco, I mean, I've had conversations with her to be able to find a way to, focus on herself sometimes a little bit more. Pam is the type of person that will give and 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 give. If we had more time, I would say give more. And you know what, though? That's a blessing. It really, really, really is a blessing. Pam's always looking to help somebody else. She's always looking to find a way to lead. She's a perseverer. She'll persevere through anything. And I'm really grateful that we're doing these events for her, because if we didn't force Pam to sit down and let us, do something for her, she would find a way to get herself busy helping somebody else. So I always like to remind Pam, even though she got her hair done and she's looking so beautiful, that she got a 5 head. We got to bring her back to planet Earth. Otherwise, people's gassing her up so much. But the love is real. When we first started the pandemic, Pam, started these Zoom presentations with leaders, and she did it for months, around months. You know, and she's just that type of person that is just looking to lead. She's a selflessly lead too. Seriously, we got to know each other very well this year with my family and stuff, and she's a selfless leader. I look for that. It's like in my heart, it's hard for me to be around people that are doing things because they're waiting for something in return. Pam is not that person. She's selflessly leading. Sometimes I think to a fault, we got to bring her back down. But Pam, you do it well. We love you. We appreciate you. You're such a, you persevere through so many things. And I just know that God is going to bless your life more mightily, and that you're not being picked on in your life. You've actually been picked, sis. We've been going through the story of Joseph. You know that. And, it took 22 years for us to come and see that story in that full picture. Not that God's going to take 22 years with you, but I'm just telling you, when he reveals to you why you've been through ups and downs and sides to sides in your life, I'm telling you, it's a picture you won't even be able to imagine, sis. So stay close to him, and we love you. God bless.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing that amazing birthday message for Pam. And Miss Pamela Pacheco is on the line. I want to also ask, getting ready to go into this amazing weekend, just tell us your thoughts about training, if for the newest person that is on the line right now, tell them why this weekend is so important.
For sure. Well, I think when you're looking at this weekend, my wife and I, we've been blessed to be a part of this lifestyle club for 8 years this past March, and so I think this is our eighth or our ninth view. We've never missed an event. We've never missed a view. And my perspective personally, y'all, towards training in general has changed mightily. And the reason why is, You know, we all understand that if you want to build your business, you know, you don't have to, you could be brand new, or you can be seasoned, you could be tired, you could be, you know, a little deflated, you could be excited, no matter where you are. You know, just like anything, in order to get yourself from where you are to where you want to be, you know, you've got to do something. It's not going to just come to you by osmosis. We know that. If you want to graduate from school, you've got to go to the classes. If you want to lose weight, you've got to eat better and go to the gym. I mean, like, you know, if you want to get smarter, you got to read books. So if you're doing this to actually build a business, then when we first say that there's an international event this weekend where you're going to learn from multi-millionaires and gurus in our industry, and you need to be there, to me, it should just be like, that's where I need to be. Now, do we understand that people have previous obligations? We understand that maybe having the money to get there is not like the easiest thing, or maybe people around you don't believe in you, or maybe you have some kind of, you know, past experience, so you've got some skepticism and so on and so forth, you know, and we get that. I get that. There's all different peoples, and you know what? We appreciate that value. Here's the different thing that the aspect and the perspective that I have changed as I've grown as a man, grown as a believer. It's not my job to convince another adult that they need to put themselves in a position if they want to change your life. If I ask you this question, this simple question, right now, are you living the goals and dreams that God put in your heart, or are you living the life that the world handed you? When you really think of that, if you're living the life that the world handed you, if you're not happy with your circumstances, then when we tell you that there's an event this weekend that's going to help change that, then obviously, again, I'm not saying you don't have things that might be obstacles, but when we say you're not being picked on, you've been picked, I think a lot of people don't understand that sometimes those obstacles are actually placed in front of you to see if you actually want the thing you're asking for. So you can't pray for strength and complain when God puts weight on you. But y'all already know this. That's why you're 180 you on this call right now. I want to ask you a question though, because this whole 2020 year has been to me about adapting. And here's what I mean by this, right? I remember December 2019. Y'all remember that? Everybody, people don't really think this through. December 2019, we were all fed up, myself included, with 2019. I couldn't wait to get out of 2019. I was leading my team. Yo, this is not just a new year, it's a new decade. You know, we're not being picked on, we've been picked. No one could have imagined that 2020 would have been as interesting and growth opportunity filled as it's been, right? No one could have imagined that. We were so tired of 2019 that we would have taken anything. But I feel like if we knew the future, we would have stayed in 2019 a little bit longer to get finance a little better, to get mindset a little bit better. But we see, that's not how it happens. And I'm so grateful, not that 2019 was, you know, 2020 has been what it is, but the opportunity to adapt. I got a question for you. Are you adapting to 2020, or have you been adapted? Are you adapting to 2020, or have you been adapted? See, a lot of people have fallen into this 2020 hole where they don't even know where they are anymore, where things start, where things end. They're on social media. They're waking up, going straight to the phone. It's this woe is me mentality. They're not promoting events like they used to. They're not leading, and they're allowing the circumstances to dictate their future. They're allowing the circumstances to really lead them instead of them leading it. And on the other side, there are people that have decided to adapt. I know that in our World Ventures culture, we have 100% been a physical culture where we're out doing travel parties, where, you know, all of our events are all physical events. So yes, we did Momentum, but we weren't able to do United in the physical. We weren't able to do boot camp. Now this is the View. We weren't able to do so many regionals or Super Saturdays. We've all had to adapt. We've all had to find ways to build culture on Zooms and stuff. And let me just tell you straight up, I'm not a big fan of it. I don't like it. But you know what, though? I like having a strong future and vision for my family, my friends, and my teams more than I like allowing this world to dictate my future. The View 2020 is a decision that every human being can make to adapt to what's going on, because if you don't adapt, you will be adapted. You'll be adapted. You'll just be a part of what's going on instead of leading what's going on. Guys, World Ventures doesn't need leaders. The world does. We just happen to be a part of the most iconic lifestyle, travel, health, fitness, awareness, lifestyle club in the planet. And I'm just letting y'all know right now, the people that are ready. And I want to talk just for a millisecond for the people that have been in for a while. 1, 2, 3, start over. LIGMO, Ligmo, let it go, move on. You know, I'll be in Tampa this weekend, and I'll be at with Roscoe Taylor, Michelle Grant, Keith Willis, Hadiatu, Pamela Pacheco, JAON, tons of leaders, and I'll be there. But you know what? Roscoe called me and told me about what he was going to do. And let me tell you how this applies to me, right? I'm growing and learning too. Check this out. I was about to lock myself in my office this weekend for the view and not be around anyone. And here's why, because I knew that at some of these like watch parties, people are going to go there physically, but mentally they have been adapted. So they're really going to be on their phone the whole time. They're really not going to be in the event. See, if we were physically in the event and you were in the room, you would have been forced to sit there, focus. The lights would have been out. The event would have set us up in a way to force us to learn. And sometimes at these view events back in the day, I would go use the bathroom real quick, hold it as long as I could, and then I couldn't anymore. And then I go outside and some of y'all are still walking up in the hallways, walking around like life is where you want it to be. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. See, I know that I have to separate myself from the thinking that is not really ready to take it to the next level. But then I had to come to Jesus and realize that I'm a leader and I'm an influencer and God put me here. So I am going to be at that event and I'm going to sit in the front, not on my phone, taking notes. I'm going to be locked into the view as if I've never been to an event, ready for my life to be different. It's never the thing, family. It's always your mindset towards the thing. This weekend is going to be fun, but let me just tell you, I don't go to trainings to have fun. That's why we earn millions to take our families around the world. This is a business weekend. I'm coming to learn. I'm coming to ask the Lord to decrease me, increase him, whatever I need to hear to grow, to be a better man, to be a leader. I need to receive it that weekend. And I need to do my best to bring as many people with me in there, because you don't get in this world who you are. You don't get in this world what you want. You get in this world what you deserve. And the root word of deserve is serve. God bless y'all. We'll see you at the view. Adapt.
Yes, thank you so much. If you don't adapt, you will be adapted. Wow. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I am D. Darren Walker. Have another amazing rock star, queen boss on the line, serial entrepreneur, former NFL publicist, super mom, amazing wife, global change agent, Miss HADIATU DUMBUYA. Did you make the call, queen?
I am here. I am here. I am here. And I'm like, we should just end the call right now. Darren, listen, I'm done. I don't have anything else. I'm done. I'm done. Like, you guys need anything else for real? Like, you really need something else? No, I'm definitely blessed and honored to be here with you guys this morning. And before I get started, I also want to give my tribute to Queen B, Pamela Pacheco. I'm not the girl that's the huge birthday girl. Like, I don't need to do a whole lot for my birthday. But when I find out that a queen of mine is celebrating for the full month, we got to make sure that every day of that month is fantastic, right? Guys, for those of you guys that have not had the pleasure and honor of getting to know Pam's heart, man, I wish that for you. I wish it for you to be able to have a friend that loves unconditionally, a friend that pushes you to understand the importance of loving others unconditionally. Like, I pray for all of you guys to have a friend that you can see go through it. Like, I see Pam go through it and smile along the way, and then push others to be able to go through it that exact same way. That's complete and total inspiration at a different type of level. You know, we didn't come into World Ventures knowing each other. We grew into our friendship, and now she is a fixture in my life, a family member, you know, somebody that I couldn't imagine doing life without. And the byproduct of what we get when we spend our 365, because that's what we spent when we started World Ventures, is that you acquire the family that you've always wanted. You know, if you have family members that are blood that you're like, man, if I could get rid of you, you can for a little bit, right? You get that through this. And that's exactly what Pam has been, but she's been more than a servant leader. And Darren said it best when he said, at the beginning of this pandemic, when everybody was trying to figure things out, Pam was putting something together every single day. Every single night, she would call multiple leaders for half of them to say they couldn't do it, for us to be able to have presentations every hour on the hour. And a lot of us were like, Pam, you don't need to do it, but it was on her heart. And guys, that's how you should lead your business. It doesn't matter what other people tell you to do, but when your heart tells you to do it, you go and you go get it done. And honestly, I don't know where World Ventures would have been during this because of the pandemic if it wasn't for her. And I say that because most companies and most people were scared. They're like, what's going on? How do we do this? And she made sure that people were able to transition in such a graceful way. So that's huge, you know? So I want to make sure that all of you guys take time to go to her social media. I want to make sure that all of you guys, when you finally get to meet her, that you allow her to understand the importance that she plays in your life. What is it now? There are 219 people that are on here right now. And some of you guys are like, I've never met Pam. Don't worry, you will. From the big stage very, very soon, you guys will be able to be blessed with who she is. And I'm just grateful. Pam, I love you. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you for consistently putting together platforms for people to be able to win, putting together fast start trainings every single Saturday, no matter what, getting things done. So you're appreciated more than you'll ever know. There are no words that any of us could ever give on here that will allow you to understand the appreciation that we have in our hearts and our souls for you. So I cannot wait to see you in Tampa. Now, let us go ahead and go into, the other reason we're here. Number one, Pam. Number two, the view from the edge. Guys, for those of you guys that don't know me, I've been in for 8 years. So I've been in for a hot minute. And my personality is such that I was never the one that was like, ooh, I can't wait for training. That was never me. That's not my personality. I'd rather read the book and get it done. And when I got into World Ventures, I was told that I had to go. And when you tell me that I have to do something, it does something else to me where I'm like, I don't want to do that either. And I now understand why. You know, you can't explain to anybody the lessons that you're going to learn along the way. And I realized, and I've said this on multiple calls, that God only gives you what you're prepared for, what you're ready for, good and bad. So some of us have been in spots within our business where it's not exactly where we want it to go. And we're still showing every single day, you know, we're helping our teams out, or we're trying to acquire a team. We're doing all the things that we're supposed to do. We feel like, gosh, something has got to give, but God knows that you're just not ready. And when I say that, that means that he knows that you're not prepared yet. And the only way to get prepared is to go to these training events. I mean, they happen quarterly for a specific reason. This one in particular is my favorite because it works on you as a person and it doesn't talk about the tactics. And we need that more than anything. Everybody on here knows how to invite. And if you don't, you say, hey, what are you doing tonight at 7? Nothing. I want you to see something. There's no special way. Don't try to like sugarcoat it. Like everybody knows how to invite. We know how to ask people if they want to go ahead and get started, but what we haven't figured out is how to get over ourselves. We haven't figured that out. Guys, when you're in like elementary school, going to high school, you know, you're fighting to get to that next grade every single year, right? You got to pass. But then when you finish high school or when you finish college, what do you have that makes you level up to get to that next place? What's taking you to that next grade? Nothing. Hence why there are so many people that are wallowing in the cesspool of mediocrity, according to Mr. Matt Morris. Wallowing in the cesspool of mediocrity, because they haven't had the opportunity to be able to learn from people that can take them exactly where they want to be. And that's what the view from the edge is. You know, Marcus said it is something special. I've never seen anything like it before. What is more inspiring about him than anything else is that every single one of these view from the edges, where they're a personal development camp, boot camp, he brings something different every single time, gives it everything that he has. He's put together a full production, guys. This is going to be something that even us that have been to the view in person have never seen before. He's something special, and we're the only ones in network marketing that get access to him. Darren pointed out, he said at the end of 2019, we're like, oh, I can't wait for 2020. 2020 vision is going to be the best year yet. And we really didn't even think about how grateful we should have been for the year that we had. Because we haven't had access to live events, I bet you we're all grateful now. But we also need to be grateful for the fact that we have a trainer like a Marquesetta that will bring the energy that we need, that will help you get to that next grade, because nothing else will. Guys, I am fired up. We've got a bunch of people on our team that are going to go down to Tampa because it's just that energy that we need. Yes, we will have our mask, but we've created a whole weekend between Roscoe Taylor and Michelle Grant. They literally have laid out a full weekend. And as a leader, it's your job to figure out how to get people to the events where they can see the culture. We could have stayed here in Detroit and done this, but we said, no. We're going to go and we're going to actually invest in our business. See, some of you guys on here right now, you're like, I don't know if I want to spend the money. I don't want to ask people to spend the money. Well, perfect. They won't have a real business. Because if you spend $1 million on your McDonald's, you wouldn't even have any problem with somebody saying you have to go to McDonald's, would you? You would just go. But because we've allowed you to have the opportunity to have the success that you've always dreamt of for such a small monetary amount, you don't understand that you have to consistently invest in it for it to consistently grow. And guys, that's exactly where you've got to be right now. Your mind has to be set on, who else can I call? And if I've got to go ahead and purchase a $150 ticket so that they can go to this training, like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be committed to do that. Like, I know one of my closest friends in this company, he went to a training in Baltimore. And that training that he went in Baltimore was a view from the edge. And he was invited by a single mother. She bought his ticket, $500. He was not in World Ventures yet. He went to that training, and then in 2 years and 10 months, he hit international marketing director. Would you invest that into your business? Would you sow those seeds? See, that's where your head has to be. You've got to see people for what they can be, not for what they are. And so if you're struggling right now to think, it's only me that's coming, you still got time. We got a couple of days that you can give people a call. And I'll tell you, you can always start over, like Darren said, and apologize. Listen, I didn't tell you how important training was. I feel like I've been stealing your money for years. I don't want to steal anymore. I really want you there. I want you to be able to grow. Guys, I don't know anybody that's won in this company without going to training consistently. I don't know anybody that has had the lifestyle that allows them to live life full time without consistently going to training. And so if I don't tell you that, and I don't push you to go to training, I'm stealing from you on a consistent basis. And I don't want to be in that place. Guys, I don't want anybody on this call to be thieves. I want you to get one more person on this call, shoot out one more text message, because there's going to be leaders that will drop nuggets that will push somebody to take that step. All of us need that extra push. That's why people get trainers, right? Well, this weekend will be the ultimate training for your lifetime. I'm so excited for the View from the Edge. I cannot wait for all of you guys to be pushed to that next level. This is the last quarter of the year, and we have the opportunity to change our mindset so that we can have a millionaire and a billionaire mindset. We can live in complete and total abundance, and we can bless people all over the world. Love you guys lots, and I cannot wait for you to all be ranking up. I want to say walking across the stage, but if it needs to be across the screen for a little bit, I'm excited to see your faces walk across that screen. I love you all. And again, happy birthday, Queen Pamela P.
Yes, thank you so much, Hadi. I appreciate you jumping on and taking time to pour into us. That was powerful. Oh my goodness. But guess what, guys? We have more and more amazing leaders on the line. Next up, we have former maritime captain, another serial entrepreneur, another amazing force, amazing husband and father, IMD, Josh Valentin. Did you make the call?
I certainly did, Katie, and thank you so much for having me. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. How are you?
I'm doing very, very well. Thank you so much. Appreciate you hosting this, and appreciate you guys. I mean, you guys do this on a weekly basis. I remember when Pam first came to me and was telling me that she wanted to do her own Breakfast Club edition, just make it catered to helping people during this pandemic. And I just thought it was a phenomenal idea, and she's been consistent with it. And I just definitely commend her, because I know the sacrifice, me doing my own call every single week, it is a sacrifice getting up every single week on a consistent basis. So guys, obviously, many of you don't know my relationship to Pamela Pacheco. They have no idea, Pam. It runs really, really deep. So, and I'm doing my best not to even get shaky here. So I'm not a yellow, more of a green personality type. But I'll just share a few things with you guys. And I can't help but think about the panel, right, that's on here. I think about JAON. I think about Darren, about HADIATU. And I remember JAON was the first person that I built a relationship with. I met Jay at a Benihana's. I was having dinner with Jay Pesos, a few of us, Marco was there. And I just remember meeting JAON and Marco and just saying to myself, like, these are some guys that I absolutely could see myself doing life with. They had that heart to them. They had that authenticity, that realness, that real genuine love. And I've always had a great love and appreciation and respect for JAON. And then I think about the second person was Pamela Pacheco. Pamela invited me to come out to Boston, and I had never really built a relationship with Pamela. I didn't really know much of Pamela, and she invited me to come up to Boston, and I was a little reluctant at first because I had never done superset. I was just anti doing trainings for the world, and when I hit IMD, I made a decision that I was going to pay it forward to the company. So I drove out a few hours to Boston, and Pamela hosted me, and I remember getting to know her for the very first time, and I had that same feeling with like JAON, like she's just all heart. And I remember us really connecting on a deep level when I went out to Boston. And it was just so crazy because when I was telling Pamela about my story, many of you guys don't know this story, but my original mentor was a young lady by the name of Anaya Monroe, who was basically my network marketing mentor. She's the reason I signed up to World Ventures. And I was in my BMW that the company paid for, and I go in the glove compartment. I was like, I think I still have this thing. Anaya Monroe, many people don't know, she hit marketing director, and she ended up passing away in her sleep at about 30. She was about 30, 31 years old, and she passed away in her sleep. And I always felt like she was my guardian angel in this business. I always felt like her legacy was going to be lived on by what I do in network marketing, because she paved the way, right? I wouldn't be in World Ventures if it wasn't for her. One conversation with her, and she's the reason I didn't even sign up for my sponsor. I signed up because of Anaya. And as I'm showing Pam the brochure of Anaya's funeral, she looks and you hear signs in the brochure and all that. She looked, she's like, no freaking way. And literally Anaya and Pamela were born on the same day. And that's when I knew it was a done deal. Like I knew that I was going to be doing life with Pam, and our relationship has flourished, and it's just so amazing, guys, because I'll share something with Pam that she probably doesn't even know. People are very protective of me and making sure that like nobody's out there doing anything crazy or putting me in jeopardy. Like people are super protective. And I remember somebody that came to me one day and they was like, what's going on? Like, Pam is posting like, loving all up on you and all that. And I looked at them and I said, let me make something very clear. I don't give a beep. And straight up, like I don't give a beep what they think. And that was the last time that was ever brought up, because they just didn't know. They didn't know the relation. They don't know how much Kia loves Pamela, right? They had no idea how much Kia absolutely loves Pamela. And it's just so crazy, guys. Like with Pam, she's why we have every single morning with Pamela Pacheco. We get up at 5:30 a.m., 6 a.m. we're on meditations. And the reason why I even have those meditations is because of the love that Pamela has for her mom. And she had came to me with everything going on with her mom, and we're just looking up alternative solutions and everything. And we were led to these meditations. I was led, and I had a guided inner circle of people that we were hosting every single day. And I'm very privileged to be able to spend every single morning with her at 6 a.m. We have these meditations, and it's just been an honor and a privilege to do life with you. And I agree with Darren. This is not a birthday. It's not a birthday week. It's a birthday month, right? And my fellow Libra, I have so much love for Pamela, like a lot. And guys, I think about Darren, right? Darren and I are really, really close. Darren and I, we talk spirituality, like we're super, super tight. And even with HADIATU, I remember talking to Pamela and like, I was like, there's something about HADIATU that I just really, really like. Like I'm a low key like fan of HADIATU. And you know, I love her personality and everything. And when I think about just these group of people, it's just so amazing. Like, we all are like kindred spirits in a sense, and we all are pro Pamela Pacheco. We absolutely love you, Pam. And I'm just so blessed to have you in my life. I talk to Pam a lot, like over the phone, deep conversations, and it's just been an honor and privilege. And, you know, my family loves you. And, you know, I just look forward to being able to celebrate with you in person. So just wanted to share that with you guys. And all in all, going into the view, right? Why is the view so important? And I brought up my original mentor, Anaya Monroe. I remember the view from the edge was Anaya and I, like, that was our first national event. And for me, I remember with World Ventures, I didn't think I was going to be doing World Ventures full time. I just figured I could get my 6. I knew that I could make money with World Ventures. And it wasn't until going to the view at my first national event where I knew wholeheartedly, I was like, this is it. This is what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life. And I remember Anaya, that being her first national event, and she went on to go hit marketing director directly after that. I went and I hit senior rep right after that. And the reason why the view is so important, guys, is because it really, really is the event of the year. I mean, by far. Mark Aceta, there's only one in the world. I always go back to what Jim Rohn was to Herbalife way back in the day. That's what Mark Aceta is to World Ventures in terms of, you know, what he's doing with our company. Our company is scaled up to $1 billion company because Mark Aceta, over 100 millionaires in the company, can attribute their success to Mark Aceta. And he's an absolute genius in terms of what he does. There's nothing like it. There never will be anything like it. It can't be replicated, can't be duplicated. And I'm really looking forward to it because it's just going to be in a different format. And I'm looking forward to just seeing Mark elevate his self as well with this specific format that he's doing. But all in all, with the view, the one thing that I will say is I missed one event in my career. And that one event that I missed, I lost 70% of my organization. And you know, I was a maritime captain, and I was obviously having to spend time out at sea. And I lost 70% of my organization. And I remember just making a decision that I was never going to miss an event again, ever. Like, not, I mean, I'm talking regionals, nationals, everything. And because I've never missed an event after that, that's why I've been able to go IMD. And the thing about these events, right, is what you have to understand is amateurs text, professionals call. Amateurs text, professionals call. Pick up the phone, call people on your team. Do not text them the link. Do not text them like on why they should come. You have to call them. They have to feel that transfer of emotion. They have to feel that excitement. They have to feel that conviction in your voice. And that's what's going to get people registered for the view. The highest paying skill in network marketing by far is getting people registered for big events. Big decisions are made at big events. I'm telling you that there's going to be 2 days in your career: the day you sign up to World Ventures and you know, you get into World Ventures, but also the day that World Ventures gets into you. And it's just going to be very difficult for the company to really get inside of your people if they're not seeing the bigger picture, right? I would have never have thought that I would have been doing this full time if I did not see the bigger picture. And this weekend, you're going to be able to see it. So I'll just close out with this, guys. I'm a firm believer that the true pandemic is not on the planet. The true pandemic is in your perspective. And the reason why the view is called the view, because it is designed to be a view from the edge of a cliff, giving you a different perspective on life, a different perspective on business, a different perspective on your relationship. There have been relationships healed and restored from these events. There have been businesses completely transformed, people really just taking their lives to another level. And I believe that this event is going to be by far the most critical event probably of your life. Why is that? Because we're in unprecedented times. We are closing off the last quarter of the year, guys. This year has been tough for a lot of people, but you are going to have to get to this event. You're going to need that shift in your perspective. And if you are not all in, you are not all engaged, then you can potentially have your business be set back. So for the people who missed this event, I believe for every national event you miss, you set your business back at least 6 months to a year. Do not allow that to happen to your people. I can tell you the biggest regret that you're gonna have in 2020 is you not picking up the phone and convincing your team to get to this event or to get registered to watch this event. So all in all, guys, I look forward to celebrating the rest of the year. Pamela Pacheco, the one and only, the beautiful, the wonderful. I absolutely love you. And I hope the world knows. If you see Pam loving on me because she does it to everybody else, just know that Josh does not give a beat, right? Because if you know anything about Pam, you know she definitely wears her heart on the sleeve. And we truly love you and adore you, love. So have a beautiful rest of your birthday month. And you guys take care. God bless.
Yes, thank you, Josh. Thanks for that transparency. I'm ready for this weekend. I'm ready for the shift in my perspective. Up next, guys, yes, we are not done. Up next, we have former mental health counselor and party promoter turned six-figure earner, another amazing husband, another amazing father. He relocated from Brooklyn, now in Tampa, Florida, Mr. J.A.O.N., National Marketing Director. J.A.O.N., did you make the call?
Yes, I did. Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can see you. Great morning. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for taking your time out to get on the call this morning.
Yes, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I wouldn't have done it if it wasn't for Pam. You see, I used to work 80 hours a week. I got into a rented, so I never have to wake up to an alarm clock ever again. But I set my alarm just because it's Pamela's birthday. We wanted to show her some love. We were out with her yesterday having some dinner. Nice surprise. Had some surprises, people flying in, and it was amazing. We definitely were celebrating her life. And as Darren Walker said, we'll be celebrating the whole month. So Pam, you already know, man. It was a blessing. You know, it's crazy. You never know, you know, who's put in your life for different seasons and different reasons. And Pamela was definitely, sometimes, you know, when you feel weak, you know, and you feel like it's you against the world, you know, you get somebody in your life who you feel like, you know, they need your guidance and they need you to be strong. And, you know, you sometimes being strong for that person, but maybe you were weak inside, but you just putting on that front to be strong for her, you know, just helped us both become strong. And it's just been a blessing ever since then, you know, ever since she's moved to Tampa. You know, we recruited her to move like literally 5 minutes away from us. So we get to have Pam all the time. And, you know, we definitely love it. You know, she is been a blessing for me and my family. My kids love her. You know, they enjoy having her around. They call her Aunt Pam. So, you know, it's just been amazing, man. If you guys haven't, you know, got to experience, you know, seeing Pam on a Zoom or, you know, seeing her in person and her just really, you know, just black out when she goes off and she starts talking, man, she just, you know, hits a whole different dimension on speaking and passion and energy. And it's truly a blessing. It's a special thing. It's a special thing that she possessed. And, you know, I'm just grateful just to be partnered up with her in this business and just be partnered up with her in life. And, you know, it's an honor, Pam. We truly appreciate you and happy birthday. Celebrate your birthday again today. I'll be there celebrating with you. And we love you. And I'm glad to have you here. You know, glad to have you as one of our comrades in arms and, you know, truly just grateful for you. Yeah, definitely. So I guess we go straight to the view.
Yes.
All right. So, yeah, I had to text. I'm like, why am I going last? Please. Why am I going last? I can't believe this. You know, after hearing all these great, amazing speakers, like truly each and every speaker here that you guys have heard from has impacted my life, impacted my business, impacted my heart, my spirit, my spirituality. In every way they've impacted my life. And, you know, I remember, my man, Darren Walker, man, you know, he's definitely an icon, right? You know, this guy is a blessing. You know, I remember he, gave me a call one day and he asked me a question, you know, and, you know, it definitely made me think. And that's what I love about people here on this call and people in this company. They're not, you know, going to force you to do what they want. You know, they're going to force you to think about what you and your family need and the decisions that you need to make for you and something that you can live with forever. And I remember, you know, Darren asking me a question and he said, how do you feel, Jay? And I said, man, I love World Ventures, man. World Ventures is in my heart. I feel like God placed that in my heart for a reason. He said, cool, do you follow God or do you follow men? And that question just really made me really tap into, that higher power. And, this company has brought me, into a closer relationship to my spirituality and my higher power. And it's just been a blessing, man. So Darren Walker, I truly appreciate you. HADIATU, man, you are a beast. I remember you came to New York City on the RTE. And you were talking about how you were stuck at MD and, that climb to get to RMD. And you said, how what helped you was, helping more people. But you also said that you participated in a competitive weightlifting circuit, and you were working on your inner self. And when you said that, working on you and becoming the better version of yourself, and it starts here. And you just started working with other people's teams, and you were being selfless and helping people that don't benefit financially. And I'm just like, man, the people we have here are special, man. So HADIATU, truly appreciate you. And then my brother, Mr. Josh Valentine, man, I remember that dinner in Benihana's. It was raining, it was a great, no, it wasn't raining. It was a great night, but we were there and you were mad quiet. It was the first time seeing this guy, and I heard he hit RMD. I'm like, man, this is quiet, man, hit RMD. How? And then when I got to hear you speak, brother, man, you can move mountains, man. You can move spirits. You can move nations, brother. Your speaking ability is just amazing, man. You definitely, truly, are a person that, I, really look up to, and, you are one that, and I love that. You got to be around people who push you to want to be better, and seeing how you speak and how, you articulate your words and your message, and you move people with your story. I'm just like, wow, I need to do that. How can I do that? What books did you read? And you just really, every time I'm around you or hear you speak, you make me really have to work on myself more. Every time I get off a call with you or something, I go pick up another book. Because the more you learn is the more you earn. And it truly is a blessing. We have some special talent in this company, by far some of the best talent I've ever seen anywhere. And I've been to GoPro network marketing events. I've been to, Tony Robbins, an event where I spend $1,000 just for the ticket, just to sit all the way in the back to watch Tony Robbins speak. And it was a powerful weekend. But when I tell you, World Ventures competes, and we got one of the best in the game, Marcus Setta, for us and the value that he's going to deliver for the price that we're getting it at. All these other events for personal development, all these other seminars, 10X, all these other things that you can go to, you're going to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And there's a lot of people attending these events for a reason, because they know whatever they want to achieve is at these events. The more you learn, the more you earn. I remember when I first got in September 20th of 2012, it was my first day that I got in, and I showed 10 people that day, and they all laughed, they all joked, they all said it was too good to be true, they won't do this, and they really discouraged me. I really felt like I got the wind knocked out of me. But then they promoted my sponsor, Mr. IMD, $1 Million Lifetime Earner, Jay Peso, told me about a training event that was happening 2 days after that day that I got started. I'm telling you, I would have never showed anybody else. I would have never showed no one else, because I was discouraged. That's it. The 10 closest people to me told me no. They told me it was a scam. They told me I was crazy. They told me I was, bugging out, thought I was going to get rich. How? BMW. Yeah, it's not happening. So I truly was never going to show anyone else. But I went to a training event. It was an RTE in New York City on September 22nd of 2012. And at that event, something sparked inside me. I went to that event. I got there a little late. As she said, I was a party promoter, and I got there, around 11 p.m. I'd never recommend you getting there late, because you never know what you're going to miss. But you know what? It was God's timing. And when I was sitting there in the back of the room, and I'm watching people cross that stage, I'm seeing kids at 20 years old walk that stage, talking about 15 trips, residual income, don't have a job, driving a BMW. I see people who are 50, 60 years old walking that stage, talking about they started living their life now because of this company. And I'm just watching story after story, success after success. And I'm like, wow, if they can do this, I definitely can do this. Something sparked inside of me. I got out of that training event. I made 3 phone calls. I called my wife. I said, listen, I just came out of this event. I don't know what it was in there, some kumbaya, I don't know, but I'm doing this. I'm taking this serious, because if these people or everybody in there is winning, why not me? If they can do this, I definitely can. There's nothing different between them and me. And that's the same thing I'm telling you. There's nothing different between you or I. The difference was that I made it to that training event. And at that training event, it sparked something inside me. I started to dream again. I feel like us as kids, they say true freedom. If you look at a 4 or 5-year-old, That is true freedom. They don't think about what happened yesterday. They don't think about what's going to happen in the future. They are living in the now. They're not worried about opinions of people. They'll laugh, they'll cry, they'll pick their boogers, they'll eat their boogers, they'll fart, they'll do everything crazy because they don't care about what people think. They will act. My son doesn't even know how to really speak yet, and he will get anything that he wants. And he won't stop because he's so persistent. He doesn't care what I tell him. If I tell him no, he doesn't hear it. He keeps pushing. That is true freedom. The freedom not to worry or care about anything or anyone. And at these training events, it brings you back those things that you thought of as a kid, those things that you wanted, those things that you dreamt for. You truly get that back when you're at these training events. That's why I think it was created, Team No Sleep, because after that training event, I could not sleep thinking about everything that I want. I could not sleep thinking about a house with a pool like Julio Junior Costa. I could not sleep thinking about driving a Range Rover like Jay Peso. I could not sleep thinking about traveling the world with my family and taking my kids to those places that I've never been. I couldn't sleep. I was just so fired up and sparked up. And if it wasn't for that training event, I would have never got that. And that's exactly why it's so important to make sure you're at every training event. You're at every call. Before Zoom, we would drive 2-3 hours. We would go to Boston 4 hours to go see Julio Costa speak whenever he flew into town. We would go drive, to Westchester to go every training event. My first year getting that BMW, I put in 25,000 miles on that car because it was by any means necessary. I understood you got to fall in love with the process. You have to fall in love with the process. The journey is the best part, is the person that you become within the process. Everybody looks at me, Josh, HADIATU, and DERRON as, wow, we're so great speakers. We're great this, we're great that. But how do you think we got there? It was World Ventures University. You see, when you go to high school, right, when you come out working, you get a job, your first job, you're making $14, $15 an hour, right? At high school level, that's what you make. And then you're kicking and screaming. You don't like where you at. You hate your situation. And you're like, you know what? What's the solution? Oh, I got to go back to school and continue my education and get a college degree. So then you go do that and you take a class, you go take a course for 2 years to 4 years, or take a specialized course for 6 months to 18 months. And then you come out and you start looking for another job because now you got this piece of paper or you got this level of education. Now you're making 30 to 40, 50, 60, 70 grand. And you get to that point, but now you realize you're just working more harder because for what you ask for, much is given, right? The more you want, the more you have to get, the more responsibilities come on you. But then you're complaining and you're screaming and you fight and it's not enough and you hate it. You don't got enough vacation time. You hate it because you don't have time with your kids. And then what happens? You stop working on yourself. There's no other school besides college. After a bachelor's degree, usually the person stops. But there are jobs out there that are paying a $250,000. There's jobs that are out there, or businesses that are giving people $500,000, $1 million, $10 million. How do you get to those levels if college only gets you to a $70,000 average income? What do you do next? You got to work on yourself. It's personal development. How do you learn? Is that by you reading, self-reading, and you self-learning. You learn from other people, get a mentor, follow somebody who has what you want. Or you learn by making your mistakes. The only 3 ways that you can learn. So after college, how do you learn? Self-development, personal development. It's personal. It's for you. It's the best education you can make is yours. People are worrying about investing here and investing there. The best and the only investment you should be worried about is investing in yourself, because that's the only thing that nobody can take away from you. The view, like Josh said, it's the view. It's your perception or your perspective on what's happening in the world. It's your view. Darren Walker said there's 3 stages: panic, thinking, and action. Some of you still are stuck on panic because your view of what's going on got you stuck. So that's even more reason why you need to be at this event called The View from the Edge, because it's truly going to unlock that inner you. It's going to unlock the better version of you. I remember seeing Marcus Setta in a prison uniform at one of the RTEs, and he had a ball and chain on, and he said, you see, all of us want freedom, but we're locked down. We're locked down by our limiting beliefs. We're locked down by our limitations that we set for ourselves. The View will be that training that will unbreak all of that. It will give you the key to take off that ball and chain that's holding you back. It will give you that key that you need to unlock everything that's inside of you. I never missed a training event since the first one that I missed. And the first one that I missed was the view. I got started in September. October was the view. I didn't see the value in it. I was having success. I thought I was doing great. I didn't need a training event. It wasn't that important. So I missed that first event. But everybody else went. There was like a class of 2012 that went. John Clash, a bunch of us, went to that. They all went to that training event, but I didn't go because I thought I was too cool. I wasn't going to spend the $1,500, right? I needed a hotel, I needed a flight and the ticket to the event, which was $600. But everybody that came back from that training event, they all win. They hit ranks faster than me. They all pulled out their BMW faster than me. They all hit 100K faster than me. They all succeeded. I felt like I got left back. And I heard someone say, when you don't go to training events, it's like if you get left back 5-6 months, you store your growth, you store your business, you store the dreams, you store everything goes on pause because you didn't go to that event. And I promise you, watching everyone succeed coming out of that training event really made me realize how important training events were. And that's where I made the promise. I will never miss a training event. Me and my wife would drive. My daughter was 2 months old. She couldn't get on a flight. She was still too young. We drove 12 to 15 hours all the way it was a snowstorm, all the way to Connecticut because we understood the importance of these training events. By any means necessary, we never miss a training event. And the fact that you can watch it from home, the fact that it's not $500, it's not $1,500, it's not $2,000, that you got to fly, you got to pay a hotel, the fact that you can save and you're only paying $150 to truly transform your life is insane. It's not even about you. You never know whose life you can change by bringing them to this training event. Marketing director, Noel Laporte on my team, 100K lifetime earner. For those that don't know his story, he was incarcerated 3.5 years. He came home doing back the same thing, was living, the lifestyle, that would get him back in trouble. And he got involved March 25th, him and his wife, Trina is one of my best friends growing up. She hit me up, reached out to me, see the information, wanted to know how I've been traveling and having fun. We saw the information. They got in March 25th. They've spent $365 each, right? $365 each. That was the price of the gold membership back then. So they spent over $700. And they were like, oh, we just got in and da-da-da. They were talking about celebrating their birthday. Trina's birthday is April 1st. And I was like, how don't you come to the training event? Why don't you come fly out to United in Dallas? It's going to be great. It was literally 8-9 days away from when they got started. It was like a $500 flight to get there. And I'm like, just get there. And they were like, well, it's going to cost more. We just invested to get into this. And they were given every excuse in the book. They kept checking the flights every day. And I'm like, listen, just get the flight. It's not going to go lower. It's only going to go higher. I said, listen, I got your hotel. Come crash with me. Listen, I got the car rental. You don't worry about a car. I was trying to do everything that I can to get them to this training event because I know that this is what's going to determine if they're going to do this forever or not. I knew the training event helps people make that decision for themselves. So I kept pushing and kept pushing. And finally they made the decision. 3 days before the training event, they bought the flights. And I'm just excited because I know what I know what to expect at a training event, but I was excited for what they're going to get at this training event. They came to the training event, and as soon as they landed, oh man, we see so many amazing people, at the airport. Everybody is so nice and friendly. And that first day at the training event, Noel, me and him got out of that training event at 10 p.m. or 8 p.m. And, he pulled me to the side and we spoke for almost an hour, like 3-4 hours. We stood up to 3 o'clock in the morning and he was telling me his life, telling me that everything he's been through, some of the things that he shouldn't have told me because, it's self-incriminating, right? But he was telling me everything that he's been through, and hearing his story was just like, wow, I can't believe it. It's such a young man going through all of those things. And he said, I promise you today, right now, from what happened at this training event, I will never go back to the street life ever again. And I'm like, yeah, right. I'm like, yeah, that's crazy. You're making good money doing that. I hear this all the time. And he said, I promise you, I won't go back. He said, because if God forbid I go back to living that life and I get locked up and I'm in jail for 3 to 5 years and I see people winning in this business, hitting IMD, I will regret that for the rest of my life. And to this day, my brother still committed to that word. He never went back to living that lifestyle. To this day, Trina and him thanked me. We were with them yesterday. They thanked me every day for just showing this idea to them and taking them to that event and not taking their excuses. It literally transformed the trajectory of his life. You never know what could have happened if he didn't go to this training event. And I say that to say, whose life can you impact? Who's on your team right now? Who in your family, who are of your friends that you can impact by just getting them to this training event, inviting them to see this information? Trust me. This thing is a game changer. It's a lifesaver. I don't know where I would be without World Ventures. It's completely changed my life. Everybody's looking for an ace. Everybody wants to be the next Darren Walker. Everybody wants to be the next HADIATU, the next Josh Valentin. You know how you get to be the next one? Is by going to the training event. So my friends, my prayer for you is that you see the value in what every one of us speakers spoke today and get yourself registered to the training event, because I promise you, you won't regret it. Thank you for having me. Truly appreciate you. I hope I was able to provide value to somebody out there today. God bless. Take care. Happy birthday, Pam. Let's get it.
Yes, woo! And you wondered why you went last. Thank you for bringing the heat. What an amazing call. Thank you again to all the amazing leaders that were on the call this morning. Pamela Pacheco, I am gonna open up the floor for you to say some amazing things. Yes, ma'am.
Wow. What an iconic, legendary lineup. I am completely blown away. Thank you. I'm just honored to be able to do life with such incredible individuals. Y'all really wanted me to do the ugly cry this morning. I was doing my best to not get emotional because it's, you guys, everything that you guys said, like, you know, I love you guys, each and every single one of you so much. And we all have different relationships, but the one thing is just, you guys, it's just so authentic. And I'm just grateful that God has privileged me to do life with amazing individuals, because in a season of my life where you go through so much pain and you deal with so many different things, you kind of are weary of opening up your heart and letting people in, because you know what love you give. And I always say, like, my heart is sacred, you know, like, I take your shoes off when you enter, you know what I mean? And I love you guys so much. Thank you for just allowing me to do life with you. Thank you guys all for your beautiful words. Thank you for the impact that you continue to have in each and every single area of my life. And I am looking forward to the View, man. The View is going to be an absolutely amazing event. Thank you guys so much for just pouring your heart out. It is going to be iconic. Let's get more people registered. Now's the time. Championships are won in fourth quarter. Legends and champions are bred in fourth quarter. Let's go end off 2020 how we want 2021 to start. In the words of Miss Valerie Acosta, like, now is the time. Love you guys so much. Let's get it. Thank you, Katie Ann. You put together something way beyond my vision for today. I'm so grateful for your heart, so grateful for your servant leadership, and thank you guys all for tuning in. This has been your Breakfast Club call for October 22nd, 2020. Love you guys. God bless you. Let's get it.
Yes, let's get it. And guys, if you aren't registered, get registered. After this call, no more needs to be said. wveventreg.com, $150. The replay of this call will be up in the next 24 to 48 hours. Thank you for joining us. Have an amazing day. Have an amazing weekend. Thank you guys for tuning in.